Hi everyone, my topic for this week's video is PFAS. So let's get started. What is PFAS? So PFAS is a diverse group of chemicals, thousands of chemicals that's used in 100 different types of products. These products can be clothing items, food items, and things like that. Some food items can be recalled for being contaminated with PFAS, and some actually have PFAS in their ingredient list, which I think is very interesting. And with the clothing items, PFAS is a group of chemicals used to make coating that resists like heat, oil, stains, grease, and water. And then for food, things can be recalled when contaminated with PFAS. And those food items that are typically recalled are things like fruit, meat, and dairy. And for clothing items that contain PFAS, they're normally things like rain jackets, hiking pants, and any like shirts, leggings that are like a dry fit material. When companies use PFAS, the PFAS actually, it helps resist like sweat and water. So it's used in a lot of athletic brands and materials. And a big brand that popped up when researching this topic was actually Lululemon uses a lot of PFAS in their clothing. There's also, as I mentioned before, there's other things that do contain PFAS that aren't recalled. I noticed it was a lot of bottled like drinks. There was a huge list of them, but a few that were more common that I knew of was LaCroix and Bubbly. And then for the effects of PFAS, so like why is it bad? Here, this is just kind of going over what I just talked about, but things that PFAS is contained. One second. And then things that that affect when you like consume PFAS is that it changes your cholesterol, has a high effect on that, and it also can change your liver enzyme levels too, which is not a very good thing. And then it also damages and like changes your immune system, so you're more prone to get sick. And it also will change the response that you have to certain vaccines, and it might not. Certain vaccines might have a different effect than another person that would have consumed PFAS. And then for my case study that I found, this one there was a lot to pick from, but this one takes place in Maine. And they're in Maine is taking action to address PFAS chemicals harming farmers and rural communities. Around here, it's not as big as a thing just because there's not a lot of farming. But I saw a couple of things in Michigan, but for Maine, farmers, their feed and crops are contaminated with PFAS, and that can happen just from things being prepared in a contaminated area, so not a very clean space. And once those crops and feed are contaminated, animals that consume those then are contaminated as well, which forces a lot of farmers to euthanize all of their farm animals, which is pretty sad. And many states, including Michigan, are taking action to prevent PFAS in the community. And then this is just my works cited page and all of the sources I got all of my information from.